Welcome to the Armani Talks YouTube channel. I'm your host, Armani Talks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome aboard. Every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm dropping brand new videos on speaking skills, writing skills, social skills, and much more. Join the tribe by hitting the subscribe button right on below. Hit that bell notification and never miss another video again. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And be sure to drop that like on your way in. In today's episode, we're entering the world of speaking skills, and we're going to be talking about different ways you could get started on learning the art and science of impromptu speaking. Impromptu speaking is one of those fields that has a practical appeal to it and a metaphysical appeal to it. It's practical because let's say you're someone who knows impromptu speaking and you're going to a job interview. The person who is interviewing you is a smartass. He wants to pull a fast one on you, and he wants to make it seem like you don't know what you're doing to the other people in the job interview. You're not bothered because you know how to speak on your feet. You know your topic of choice very well, and whatever angles that this smart aleck is throwing at you, you're dominating. This allows you to get the job, and this allows you to get some money. This is the practical side of it. Now, for the metaphysical side, it's a different twist. Did you know that there's a difference in the brain scans of a rapper who is reading off the lyrics versus one who's freestyling? For the one who's freestyling, the sense of self portion in the brain is deactivated, which pretty much implies that this individual is entering a completely different portal, a portal of infinite possibilities that they could rap about. That's what it's like with impromptu speaking skills. No one can quite predict what you're going to say because you're entering this new portal of infinite possibilities. Does that sound appealing to you? If so, let's start off with the first path of how you can learn impromptu speaking skills, and that's through the private YouTube channel. I'm surprised, but a lot of people don't know that you can make videos on YouTube and never make it public. The reason that this helps a lot is because it allows you to understand the whole process of content creation, and it allows you to explore. Let's say you have certain interests, or you're not too sure of your interests. With the private YouTube channel, you could pull out your phone, or you could get a professional camera, and you just start creating small little talks on it, completely unplanned. You start to understand the different nuances which are involved for impromptu speaking skills. Soon enough, you're gonna learn that it's sort of like a mental sport. If you want to do impromptu speaking, you should be in somewhat okay shape, because when you're thinking on the fly, you're exhausting more mental faculties. And as you're exhausting more mental faculties, you need to have mastery over your breath. You can't have mastery over your breath if all you're doing is eating Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme, and Ho-Hos. This shows you through the private YouTube channel method that you can learn to think faster, plus get in shape. And you want to know one of the bonuses of the private YouTube channel? You could always make the videos public later on. A lot of the talks that you do on your own impromptu speaking sessions can actually benefit other people in their lives. You're going to be dropping a lot of practical knowledge and strategies which you think are common sense for you, but for other people, it's an insight. And if there's at least one person on the planet who watches your video and is like, yo, this is pretty useful, then I'm sure that there are 10 more people like this person. If there are 10 more people like this person, I'm sure there's 100 people like them. You don't even have to think about all that yet. First thing you just want to do is create the YouTube channel, post videos, keep it private, and officially you have made the private YouTube channel to practice your impromptu speaking skills. The second path is good old Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a public speaking club that is global, which means wherever you're watching this from, there should be a Toastmasters near you. If you're not too sure, go on Google, type in Toastmasters near me, and you'll be presented with a locator, which will show the closest club. And hypothetically, if there is no closest club, then you can be one of the first founding fathers. Go on and start one. Within this club, there's a section called the table topics. This is when a table topics master will ask for different volunteers within the group, and whoever volunteers will be given a random topic that they'll have to give a roughly 30-second to 2-minute presentation on. Did I mention there's no preparation done before? So you're thinking on your feet. All these different people are looking at you, which is raising the stakes. Whenever the stakes are raised, whenever there's different eyeballs looking at you as you're learning a skill, you learn it faster. As long as you don't quit. A lot of people, the first few times, they stumble, they fall, and unfortunately, they quit. They never do it again. But if you keep raising your hand for each table topics meeting, then eventually you will figure out what it's like to do impromptu speaking. And since you're doing it in high pressure, you will learn it much faster. That's path number 2. The third path is to have some sort of show where you're doing conversation skills. The thing with conversation skills is that it's impromptu speaking. You can't ever quite predict what someone else is going to say. And a lot of the time, they're going to say something where you're like, I actually don't know how to contribute to that. If they're silent, you're silent. And it's at that point where you're like, wait a minute, I'm the host. I can't just be silent as well. I have to say something. And in that process of you saying something, you're going to understand what all impromptu speakers understand. The silence is not your enemy. During the moments of silence, you could actually practice your creativity even more. When you start to become okay with silence, that's when you start to understand the nuances. The silence is a chance for you to keep dominating and controlling the flow of your conversations or of your impromptu talks. So you could have some sort of show, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a YouTube show, or you could just have regular conversations with regular people. The more that you break ice with strangers, the more that you're being forced to practice impromptu speaking skills. So for this third path, you could either take the content creation route, you could take the social skills route, or you could blend them together. And I'm going to give you one more bonus tip. This is one that's highly underrated that many people don't talk about. But this is when you write and you edit your own writing. When you edit your own writing, do you know what you do? You actually change your thinking processes. Because when you write, what you're doing is you're making eye contact with the mind. And editing is when you're restructuring things, when you're fixing up certain grammar issues, where you're starting to get a feel for your writing voice, aka your real voice. And in that process of restructuring, you're starting to add order into chaos. The more that you can keep practicing editing your own writing, whether it's for Twitter, blogging, writing your own book, the more that you understand where you stand on certain issues. And the more that you understand where you stand on certain issues, the easier it becomes to speak about different topics that you didn't know that you could speak on before. Our goal with impromptu speaking is to view it as arms rather than a horn. And what I mean by this is, if I tell you to close your eyes and picture yourself with a big horn, like a rhino, you're gonna have to do a lot of cognitive effort. Because normally, you don't have a horn. But if I tell you to close your eyes and picture yourself with arms, you don't need any cognitive effort. It's because you already have arms. Arms are a part of your reality, and our goal with impromptu speaking is to make it a part of our reality. So these are just a few ways that you could get started with impromptu speaking. You could create the private YouTube channel. You could start practicing table topics in your local Toastmasters club. You could practice your conversation skills in the content creation or the social skills domain. Or you could start writing and editing your own writing. Impromptu speaking is going to be a coveted skill set in the upcoming era, especially as more and more information is being passed from one node to the next. If you enjoyed this video, I have already made a class on impromptu speaking skills for dummies. You can check it out in the description box or the pinned comment right on below. And thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel.